Practice speaking English while chatting about Japanese grammar. My friend Yukiko, who is a serious English learner, is hoping to be able to explain Japanese grammar more in English in her classes where she works as a Japanese online professional teacher. For her English training, we will review the ToKini and its Genki textbook review series and discuss the learner's perspective on Japanese grammar while practicing the practical English phrases he uses already. Let's start it. How are you, Yukiko?
Okay, I'm good. Thank
Okay.
you. How are you?
Less busy. Oh, the very surprising things recently I noticed was that I thought that I had a really busy April. So I feel like I renewed my record of the sales in 1 month in April. Then the May just ended, right? So the stats of my platform showed actually May's sales exceeded the April, and I was really shocked because May I had 4 holidays. Like with 4 holidays, I exceed April. How could that happen? Well, that's what I thought.
What do you mean? So exceed is
Exceed,
what's that?
exceed, 超える
May. So,
surpass.
okay. 5
So
月は
yeah,
4月を超えた
May succeed. Yeah, exceeded. Yes,
Oh, that's good.
that's good. I was really surprised. Wow, what? How could that happen? I worked with 4 holidays. And April I worked. Yeah, every day, right? Because no holiday April. Yeah. Okay.
That's good. That's nice.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's surprising. That was surprising. Yeah. Alrighty, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. The what is today's first topic is the Tara. And do you remember Tara's video of that Andy?
Tara's video.
Yes. What do you remember?
Tara's Tara.
What do you remember?
Okay.
Nothing.
So many things.
So many things you
Nothing.
remember.
So many things. I wrote it down. So
Yeah,
many things.
you do.
Maybe okay. The impressive things. So one of the impressive things
Uh huh. Uh huh. Uh huh.
is Tara is da. So to separate. So Andy
Okay.
said. So you need so may easier to think of this as da. You need to be aware that it is referred to as tara. It makes more sense to think of it as a single particle called da.
Okay. Yeah. 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 We're gonna listen to that part. Um. Okay. So I'm gonna start it.
Okay.
So the today's first topic is common conditional tara, and what I was really kind of what I saw in Andy's video is he complained a lot in the beginning of this section. Do you remember what he said? He said I rant. So, so what he complained is why this important grammar appeared such later, order in the entire context. So this is Genki lesson, like a Genki 2, lesson 17, but it should have appeared like much earlier, like they should cover Genki 1. And Andy also mentioned like it was very like I totally agreed with him, but yeah, before they explained Tara, they introduced the phrase they already use たら。行ったらどうですか？走ったらどうですか？ Like たらどうですか phrase introduced earlier than explaining たら, which doesn't make sense. Why? But also like bar conditional. There's another conditional, bar conditional. But Genki introduced bar conditional before, um, uh, before they introduced 行けばよかった。来ればよかった。You know, like they introduce phrase first and they don't care about explaining this like grammar point. And Andy rounded it. But after the rant part, this is what he explained. So let's listen. Video at 22 minutes 33 seconds.
Let's go ahead and jump into the common conditional, which should have come in lesson 13 or before. So, a conditional, it just means if, right? So, this conditional is tara, and it means if A, then B. In the situation where we have sentence A, tara, sentence B. So, it could mean if A occurs, then B. It can also mean when A occurs, then B. It depends on the situation, not the sentence structure. It's going to depend on the context. It can also mean if A were to occur, then B. So hypothetical situations, right? You can use tara in all of those situations. Tara covers probably the most different situations of any of the possible conditionals in Japanese. We will go over later in this section the difference between nara, which is the only other conditional we've gone over so far in Genki. And I'll go over a quick example that can clearly show you what the difference is, because they all do have some subtle differences. Nara and tara are actually quite different, and you'll see what I mean when we get into those examples. But let's go over how to use it first. Now, it may be easier for you to think of tara as just da. The reason for that is because it's actually the past tense of e-adjectives, verbs, datta, plus a da. So the ta in tara is the end of a past tense. For example, tabeta da. So the past tense verb of taberu, to eat, tabetara. Short form past adjective plus datta, da. So the ta is part of datta, the past tense of da. And same in the nouns. So it may be easier to think of this as da, but if you look it up in any dictionary or any textbook, it's always going to be tara. So you need to be aware that it is referred to as tara. But when you're learning it, I think it makes more sense to think of it as a single particle called da. So that's how I'm going to color it in this lesson. But just keep in mind, we're referring to tara if you're looking it up anywhere else. So some example sentences. 美味しかったらもう少し食べます。
美味しかったらもう少し食べます。
I'll eat a little more. So here's the if, then. Just a straight if this, then that. That's Genki goes over about 3. Most of their explanation comes down to is trying to express the fact that it's if then in a bunch of extra words. There are some little subtleties with this that we're going to go through, but generally speaking, tara is just a simple if then statement if you know anything about programming. So 美味しかったらもう少し食べます. If it tastes good, I'll eat a little more. 仕事が終わったら飲みに行こう. If we finish work, let's go drinking. Or when we finish work, let's go drinking. So what is the difference here? Why is it both meanings? Well, textual. So for example, say you're at work one day and you're complaining because you've got so much to do. You're positive that you're not going to be able to finish today. You think you're going to have to work until 1 a.m. So your coworker comes over and says to you, ねえ、仕事が終わったら飲みに行こう. In this situation, because you actually might not finish work, this one means if we finish work, let's go drinking. But if you never have overtime and you always go home at 5 o'clock, you always finish work on time, doesn't matter how much you have, that's the kind of job you have, then this sentence would mean when we finish work, let's go drinking, because obviously you're going to finish work. So if your friend in that company comes up to you and says, 仕事が終わったら飲みに行こう, that's more of a when we finish work, let's go drinking. Okay, so
Yeah. So far, Andy is explaining Tara is used for like when you want to feel like to use if or when. So event if
Yes.
event oh if sentence A event 1 then event B. Okay. And so what's the Andy said is that Yukiko said la la la. So okay, can you tell me again about la?
Okay. So Genki textbook is written as a Tara, so Tara grammar. But so actually, so when you use when you make the sentence, so past tense plus la, past tense plus la. So that's why it is just a moment. It may be easier to think of this as da
Yeah.
and la.
For example, if you think about past tense plus tara, like technically you're gonna say tabeta tara, right? So it's not the case. Yeah. 美味しかったたら. It's not the case. The last represent actually past like conjugation like part already. So you just make past tense and add la. That's a normal way of thinking. And yeah, it is really I think it's really important for Japanese speaker to like feel like ta sound when we hear ta sound itself represents this past nuance, right? So for example 食べる食べた美味しかった元気だった So a lot of case actually small t plus ta appeared. Of course 食べた doesn't have small t, but here 美味しかった元気だった先生だった So it's all kind of a lot of case combining small t and ta. And when here it is like, okay, this is past tense, this is past nuance. Okay, we are talking about past things. Yeah, even like the verb, like some verb doesn't have small t, however, others do. For example, 作ったら、踊ったら、帰ったら. So a lot of case like small t and ta is really really important, like the kind of item to represent past tense to me. What do you think?
Yeah, and plus I think additionally, so 泳ぐ, so like 泳ぐ is so te form is 泳いで and the past tense is 泳いだ and the 泳いだ in this case 泳いだら. So that's why actually 何だったかな practically
Okay.
so we can say tara. So not everything is tara. So some cases you need to use dara, oyoidara.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That's great too. Yes. So 一段は食べたら that's straightforward
Yeah.
tara.
So that's
But
why Andy what Andy explain makes sense. I think. Yeah.
that's great. Okay. Yes. 飲んだら読んだら Okay. 踏んだらんだ or 泳いだら Yes. So you just see this structure. You're just adding actually only la, that like a tool to make up this if clause or when clause. And Andy explained when, like how can you interpret if or when. And actually it's not that big things. For example, Yukiko said, 仕事が終わったら飲みに行こう. So, as Andy explained, Yukiko might have just said that, okay, when you finish, let's go drinking. However, for me, 仕事が終わったら飲みに行こう such a not sure things. Okay, I might finish work, but I might not be able to finish work. In that case, I take it as a if. 仕事が終わったらね. So you have to consider 仕事が終わらない would be another case that might that might be my response. But anyway, so if and when is not important, but let's conditional this situation, then we do 飲みに行こう。And Andy also explained the negative case, right?
Negative case?
Yes.
I don't know that.
If
okay.
What do you
アンディが来るなら
no. If the event one doesn't occur, then
Negative.
event B.
Okay.
Can you make a sentence?
Okay. 仕事が終わらなかったら
そう。仕事が終わらなかったら、
会社で泊まろう。
会社に泊まる。飲みに行かない。行けない。
飲みに行けない。
はい。おいしいネガティブ。
美味しくなかったら
おいしくなかったら、はい。
食べたくない。
元気
美味しくなかったら、らがいります。
ありがとう。
美味しくなかったら。
元気じゃ
元気じゃなかったら、明日は遊びに行けないな。
遊びに行けない。先生じゃなかったら
先生じゃなかったら。
教えない方がいい。Okay, this is the negative case. So what Andy wanted to say is just it's same. It doesn't matter if that event A is affirmative or negative. So if actually in negative case, why I raise it up all because it's really clear. So all ないpast tense. So then they gonna be all なかったらなかったら。なかったら pretty straightforward なかったら then blah 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 because na is past tense is なかった right so it's pretty simple and yeah besides what Andy explained how do you explain like Tara grammar to your students Yukiko?
Tara grammar actually I have never explained Tara grammar. So yeah, I have encountered practicing together with my student, but it's only two students. Two students. So practice together and so in their case. So they read by themselves. So that's why I didn't explain it. But so if I add some information,
yes
in this whiteboard, so 仕事が終わったら飲みに行こう. So Andy says, so depending on the context, what you want to say. So if and when possible. And then, so if so you can say, so もし仕事が終わったら so もし you can add もし is like more like so percentage is low. These things occur or so these things come true is low percent. In this case, so sometimes we can say もし仕事が終わったら or 仕事が終わったら飲みに行こう. But so when we don't say もし.
Okay.
So this is additional things.
Okay. わかった。So, if it's just a Tara, we usually do not use this moshi item, but if it's more like a hypothetical or not that much hypothetical, but it's really in probability law.
Probability law.
確率が低い probability law, so not that probable, so it is after all conditional. It's how much degree it's true, right? So if 100% true, we don't use Tara. What we use? We use
When?
no. If 100% true, if that condition always make realize, we usually use to. Event A.
Okay, to. Okay.
To. Event B. This is 100%. So always happens.
But we have not yet practiced. We haven't encountered yet.
I don't much remember, but anyway. So Tara is, as Andy mentioned, so this grammar covers probably the most different situations of conditionals that he said in his video, which means so Tara has like this, really real person to like 99%, like covered so many like conditionals.
I think so.
Yeah, like even we could say like almost 100%, right? For example,
almost 100%.
For example, what Yukiko mentioned here, like when we want to use Tara for like this usage of when, then this is all like pretty close to 100%. Yeah, like
家に帰ったら
電話します。
宿題をしよう。
宿題をします。ご飯を食べます。That's no reason to condition. Like if you think about English way of thinking. Yeah, so then what is Tara here is like there is like another insight or different insight than what you're gonna use for if in English, I guess. And what I want to emphasize here is like what he emphasized here, like then. So why he used the if event 1, then event win. Okay, what here important is I saw a big
What happened?
I saw a big spider. I saw a big spider into a trash bag. Okay. By themselves. Okay, so if them means, okay, we just reviewed what's the ta means. Ta represent past nuance for native speakers. So when we hear ta is always past. Okay, then here let's review the event order. So when event 1, then event B. So what's the event order? Which event occur first?
Okay, first. So first is event 1.
Yeah, exactly. So order is always this.
Yes, order is always
家
this.
に帰ったら電話します。I'll never call you if I don't get home. 家に帰ったら宿題します。I'll never do homework if I don't get home. So it has to be like the first event has to be the event 1. Then for the first time, event 2 will take place. So event 1, event 2, this order is very important. Why that happened? Because we're gonna make past tense. Once event 1 action becomes past, then event 2 occur. So like how it's like connected past nuance used to this grammar is just as it is, as it is literal. Like, okay, event 1 becomes past, then we take place this event 2. So this past nuance is very important, like concept to me. Like what is Tara grammar for me is just it is past. You condition one action past, then what's next? What's the next event will come or occur. Okay, so this and by this way of thinking, I think it's really easier to like picture what's the difference between nara and tara conditional.